Republic Act 6969, officially titled the Toxic Substances and Hazardous in Nuclear Waste Control Act of 1990, is the Philippine key law for managing chemicals and waste. Its policy is to regulate or prohibit the importation, manufacture, processing, sale, distribution, use, and disposal of chemical substances and mixture of pose unreasonable risk to health or the environment. In the practice, this means the government keeps an inventory of chemicals and monitors any that are potentially hazardous in order to protect public health and nature. The Act specifically bans the entry, even the transit, of hazardous or nuclear waste into country. By setting these controls, RA 6969 helps prevent accident and pollution. For example, it was passed in part due to growing concerns about industrial pollution and international commitments, such as Basel Convention on Hazardous Waste. These presentations cover several key topics in chemical safety and RA or Republic Act 6969 scope. It begins with fundamental principle of toxicity. Those makes the poison, and the definition of chemical safety. Next, it surveys how chemicals are used in everyday life, in agriculture, medicine, industry, and at home. A core of focus in hazard versus risk, how the danger of a chemical or its hazard differs from the likelihood it will cause harm or risk under real condition. We then examine health effects of toxic exposure, while chronic diseases and acute poisonings demand regulation. Especially attention is given to lead exposure in pregnancy and its development impact. Later, slides classify adverse effect of local versus systematic, acute versus chronic, reversible versus irreversible. We also clarify terms toxic versus poisonous using examples of substances such as methanol or high toxic versus acetone or the moderately toxic. According to Paracelsus, no chemical is entirely safe, but every chemical can be used safely. All things are poison. What makes the difference is the dose. This means any substance, even water or oxygen, can be harmful at a high enough dose, and conversely, even a known poison can be harmless at very low doses. In chemical safety, this principle reminds us that toxicity depends on exposure level. For example, household bleach can disinfect at one concentration but cause burn of too concentrated or contact skin undiluted. Understanding those helps regulators set safety limits. Example, safe levels of drinking water and ensure that substances are used in ways where their doses remain within safe bounds. Next, what is chemical safety? Chemical safety involves careful use, handling, storage, and disposal of chemicals to prevent harm. In practical terms, it means following procedures and controls so that exposures stay below harmful levels. For instance, chemical safety practices include proper labeling of containers, use of storage cabinets, safety data sheet or SDS for information, use of personal protective equipment or PPE, spill response plan, and a worker training and handling procedure. A defined in safety literature, chemical safety is the practice of safely using, handling, and disposing of chemical products. It is a critical aspect of occupational and public health since chemical or cleaning agents like oil, solvent, pesticide, and etc. can cause burn, respiratory damage, eye injury or chronic illness is a mishandled agency like OSHA, required hazard communication. Manufacturers must label hazardous chemical and provide SDS, and employer must train worker on hazard. In sum, chemical safety means using engineering controls, administrative rules, and personal safeguards to keep people and the environment from being exposed to dangerous doses of chemicals. Next, chemicals are in a modern life found in agriculture, medicine, industry, and homes. Some examples in agriculture, synthetic fertilizer example of urea, ammonium nitrate, phosphorus, compounds, boost crop growth, pesticides, herbicides like glyphosate, insecticides like organophosphate, protect plants and veterinary drugs, antibiotic hormones treat livestock. In medicine and health, pharmaceuticals, painkillers, antibiotic, vaccine, and medical diagnostic agent, contrast dyes are chemical that heal. Also, antiseptics, disinfectants, alcohol, iodine solution kill germs. In industry, factories use solvent acetone, toluene, alcohols to make paints, adhesive, and cleaners. Acids and bases like sulfuric, nitric acid, sodium hydroxide for processing materials, metals, lead, cadmium, and batteries or electronics through these are now heavily regulated. Plastic, rubbers, and textile are all made from chemical monomers and additives. In home, common household chemicals include cleaning product like bleach, ammonia cleaners, drain openers, personal care products like cosmetics, alcohol-based sanitizer, and pesticide like cockroach spray or rodent poison. Even cooking involves chemical, the salt, the vinegar, or the acetic acid. In fact, various chemicals are widely used across industry in every type of workplace. While essential, all this must be used responsibly. For example, taking proper precaution when applying pesticides or disposing old batteries which contains metal. Key concept in managing chemicals is distinguish hazard from risk. A hazard is an inherent property of a substance that enables it to cause harm. For example, flammability, corrosivity, or toxicity. In contrast, risk is the likelihood or probability that the hazard will actually cause harm in a given situation. In other words, hazard tells us what it can cause harm, while risk tells us how likely, whether it will under real condition. For instance, gasoline is highly flammable or hazard, but pouring a liter of it on the ground in an open ventilated areas is relatively low risk as long as it isn't ignited. Conversely, even water, a low hazard, possess high risk if drunk in excessive quantity at once. As one source explains, hazard hazard is the inherent property of substance that make it capable of causing harm, whereas risk is the possibility of a harmful event arising from exposure. And practice chemicals risk management focus on reducing risk. For example, using ventilation, PPE, safe work practices, while hazards are intrinsic. You cannot change the benzene is a carcinogen, but you can minimize worker exposure to reduce the cancer risk. Recognizing this difference is crucial. Regulation like the Republic Act 6969 often targets chemical whose unreasonable risk justified control. Toxic chemic Toxic chemicals in uncontrolled ways can cause immediate health effect, which is why they are strictly regulated. In short-term exposures may lead to acute effects such as chemical burns, irritation of eyes, skin or airways, allergic reaction, or poisoning. For example, inhaling chlorine gas or ammonia causes lung irritation. Splash of a strong acid on skin causes burns. Many hazardous substances also have acute toxicity by ingestion or inhalation. Example, the cyanidine or the pesticides. Even small amounts can make a person very ill or kill them. Beyond acute injuries, many toxic substances pose chronic health risks that appear only after prolonged exposure. This includes cancer, neurological disorder, organ damage, birth defect, and reproductive problems. For example, long-term exposure to benzene is known to cause leukemia. Heavy metals like mercury and lead cause nerve damage and developmental delay. Certain solvents or PCBs can accumulate body fat and damage the liver or immune system. The EPA notes that some hazardous substances can cause behavioral abnormalities, cancer, genetic mutation, physiological malfunction, for example, the reproductive impairment, kidney failure, or etc. Physical deformation and birth defect, because such effects often take years to manifest. The RA 6969 preventive approach requiring testing before manufacture import is critical. Furthermore, persistent pollutants and waste affect not just people but ecosystems. For example, dams of toxic waste can kill fish and wildlife, damage food chain, and make water unsafe. Hazardous, hazardous waste often bioaccumulate, build up in organism over time, and biomagnify up the food chain as the DDT or dioxin, causing widespread environmental and health damage. Thus, to protect long-term health, the RA 6969 covers disposal and even transit of waste, preventing chronic exposure at the community level. Lead is a toxic metal particularly dangerous for pregnant women and developing fetuses. When a pregnant woman is exposed to lead through paint, dust, contaminated water, or workplace exposure, can lead cross to the placenta and enter the fetus bloodstream and developing organs. Unlike many barriers in the body in placenta does not block lead. In fact, if a mother has stored lead to her bones from past exposures, pregnancy, especially with a low calcium intake, can mobilize that lead into her blood and then to the baby. Lead exposure in utero can harm from the baby's brain and nervous system, leading to long-term problems. For example, studies show lower IQ, attention deficits, and learning disabilities in children whose mother had elevated blood lead levels. Lead can also increase risk in preterm birth or low birth weight because a fetus blood level mirrors the mother's level. Physicians warn that lead exposure can affect the unborn child brain, causing developmental problems later in life. Fetuses exposed to lead before birth may be born early or underweight. These and serious risks to child development are why chemicals regulations strictly limit lead in paints, gasoline, and plumbing, an industrial product aligning with RA 6969's goal to protect health and the environment from such irreversible harm. Adverse health effects from chemicals can be classified several ways. Local versus systemic. Local effect occurs at the point of contact skins, eyes, and lungs. For example, ammonia gas inhalation irritates the respiratory tract, lining immediate a local effect. Systemic effects can after a chemical is absorbed and distributed by the blood to internal organs like liver, kidney, brains. For instance, if a liquid phenol touches the skin, it causes local irritation, and if absorbed and can damage the liver and kidneys. Systemic or toxicity. Recognizing local versus systemic helps responders know whether exposure has broader internal impact or is contained. Acute versus chronic. Acute toxicity results from a single or a short-term high-dose exposure. Symptoms appears quickly, or minutes to hours or days, and often the effects are reversible if the person is treated or the exposure ends. An example is a splash burn or a single large ingestion of a solvent causing dizziness or vomiting. Chronic toxicity arises from repeated or long-term exposures, like months to years. Effect may be delayed and often reversible. Damage doesn't heal. Chronic effect include cancer or organ failure from lifelong exposures like smoking causing lung cancer. As one source notes, acute exposure is a short term, where effects appear immediately and are often reversible, whereas chronic exposure is continued or repeated. Effect may be delayed and are generally irreversible. Reversible versus irreversible. Reversible effects are those the body can fully heal from after the exposures. Stop like mild skin rashes or temporary headaches. Reversible effect cause permanent damage like nerve cell death, organ scarring, a genetic mutation. For example, a chemical burn may heal, but nerve damage or cancer initiated by exposure typically cannot be undone. Generally, acute effect tend to be reversible and chronic effect often irreversible. Understanding these categories is vital. It informs medical treatments and regulation. The RA 6969 testing requirements and labeling help identify acute hazard so immediate care can be given, and chronic hazard so long-term controls are set. Terminology and toxicology can be confusing. In casual use, toxic and poisonous often overlap. A toxic substance can simply one capable of causing harm, while a poison is typically a toxic substance that causes severe injury or death, often even at a low doses. In fact, a medical source explains poisoning is when exposure to a toxic substances makes you sick or harm you. So if every poison is toxic, but not all toxic exposure rise to level of poisoning. We can illustrate acute versus chronic toxicity with two common chemicals like methanol and acetone. Methanol or the wood alcohol is extremely toxic. If ingested, it's metabolized to informate, which cause metabolic acidosis, seizure, and optic nerve damage leading to blindness. Symptoms can be fatal without treatment. For example, the CDC reports of methanol contaminated hand sanitizer show the methanol poisoning lead to severe acidosis and blindness, and survivors often have permanent vision loss. In contrast, acetone, a common solvent in a nail polish remover and cleaning product, is much less toxic. Our bodies naturally produce and break down acetone. It is normal ketone, so accidental exposure rarely causes serious harm through acetone. Poisoning is rare. Only very large ingestion cause effect, typically mild central nervous system symptoms like headaches, drowsiness, and slight incoordination. Severe acetone poisoning like coma, low blood pressure is uncommon. Thus, methanol exemplifies an acute poisoning chemicals. Even small amounts can cause irreversible damage, whereas acetone generally only causes discomfort and exposure is high. These examples reinforce that the toxicity of a chemicals and the dose exposure determine the actual outcome. RA 6969 is structured in two main parts, titles reflecting the scope, the chemical management or the virgin materials. These part cover all new unregulated chemicals, substances, and mixture. It regulates activities like importation, manufacturers, processing, handling, storage, transport, sale, distribution, and use of this chemical in the Philippines. Essentially, this ensured that the virgin or unused chemicals that could pose health or environmental risk is tested, inventoried, and controlled before it enters commerce. For example, if a company wants to import novel industrial solvent, it must submit safety data to DNR demonstrating it poses no unreasonable risk. The law empowers DNR to require testing and restrict or ban hazardous chemicals under this. The hazardous waste management or reuse or non-virgin materials. This part deals with waste materials can contain toxic substances. Hazardous waste are defined as materials with no safe use that are important or generated in like country, like chemicals, byproducts, pens, solvents, discarded batteries. Forbids the entry, even the transit and disposal on such waste in the Philippines. It also regulates the proper management of domestic hazardous waste, the collection, treatment, or disposal. Under existing environmental laws, in short, the RA 6969 treat new chemicals and waste differently. New virgin chemicals are managed through testing and restriction, whereas waste are strictly controlled or banned. By covering both by covering both virgin chemicals and their waste, RA 6969 provides a cradle to grave approach. It prevents harmful chemicals from entering commerce without assessment, and it protects the country from toxic waste dumping. Together, these measures fulfill the law goals of protecting health and environment from dangerous substances.